Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for joining me. It's going to be a slightly different video this week because I'm actually leaving the garden and I'm heading out to a location called Broadway Tower where I'm hoping to get some landscape shots of Orion. So like I said, I'm heading out tonight to a location called Broadway Tower. Now this is about 45 minutes up the road from me, but it's a really dark location with this old amazing tower, which you will obviously see in this video. Now I got a message from a friend of mine, Darshna, earlier today, and she asked me if I wanted to join her on a trip she was taking up to Broadway. So she's going with another astrophotographer and she knew that I lived fairly close. So she wondered if I wanted to join and try and capture some Orion images. So I'm really excited to head out and capture some landscape astrophotography, something that I haven't done in quite some time. Now I've got a couple of plans tonight. The first one is I'm going to try and use this filter here, the Case Starglow filter. So this is the Alan Wallace Case Starglow filter. I've used it a couple of times before and I've absolutely loved it. So I'm going to give it another go tonight and hopefully that will make the Orion Nebula just really pop. The other plan, I'm going to take my Move Shoot Move star tracker out with me and I'm hoping to put on the 85mm lens and try and get some more tighter shots of Orion with the Broadway Tower in the frame if I can. Hopefully that all goes to plan and I'm obviously going to bring you along to show you how it goes. So got to jump in the car now and head out to Broadway. Okay, so I've just arrived at my location, Broadway Tower, and I can't see a single cloud in the sky. And look at this location, it is awesome. Okay, so as you can probably hear, it's extremely windy out here. It's very cold, so I'm not going to do too much talking to the camera. But I've met my good friend Darshna, and we're out here with photographing Broadway Tower with Orion Nebula in the background. So I'm just going to quickly take you to the camera and show you the composition. So I'm hoping you can pick this up on the back of my camera, but there you can see Broadway Tower with Orion just right over the top. And I actually have the Case Starglow filter dropped in, so I'll try and show you the difference that makes. I think I'll try and record it on my camera and then show you actually dropping in that filter, because it does make such a difference making those stars popped. But I've taken a foreground exposure. I've taken about 20 subs for Orion, so I'm going to now move on to try and find a different composition. Okay, so the wind completely ruined that clip, but this is what the image looked like on a video on the back of my camera before I put the filter in, and then this is what it looked like when I dropped that filter in. So you can just see it bloats the bright stars, which really makes that nebula pop. So here you go again, this is before, and then this is after. So hopefully you can see the difference on this video. But anyway, here is the first image that I managed to capture from the trip. Okay, so it's a few days later and I'm trying to edit this video for YouTube, and I've just realized that all of the clips that I recorded afterwards are just not usable at all. So that wind you heard in the first clip got much worse as the evening went on, and none of the audio was even comprehensible, let alone usable. So I did manage to capture one other clip, and I tried to record some B-roll, but like I said, the audio didn't work. So I went down into the valley which if anyone who's been to Broadway knows, there's a really nice valley like leading up to the tower. And I tried to frame a landscape shot of the tower, and I think I've got one that's half decent. So I will show you this now. So hopefully you like both of those images that I managed to capture. I'm not actually a big fan of them myself, and I was unsure about whether or not to put this video together because I don't really think that those images are my best work. This was one of those nights where everything seemed to go wrong, but I thought I would share this with you anyway and show you some of the mistakes that I made. So the first mistake was not taking any gloves. So this was quite a last minute trip. I was in a bit of a rush and I didn't really pack my bag very carefully, and I got there, I didn't have any gloves. It was freezing and incredibly windy. I also forgot to charge my head torch, so I was wandering around in the dark trying to light the way with the terrible torch on my phone, and bumping into things. I walked into a tree branch and cut my nose. So yeah, not ideal, so make sure you charge your head torches. I also forgot my cable release or my shutter release, so I was there having to press the shutter every single image. But by far the biggest mistake I made was I got home, I loaded all of my images into the computer, and I realized all of them were JPEGs. So I absolutely never shoot JPEG. I always shoot RAW, no matter what I'm shooting, whether it's wildlife, pictures of Alfie or Astro, because it just holds so much more detail. So when I loaded it into the computer, I was a bit gutted, to be honest. Now, I think the reason it somehow had JPEG instead of RAW was because a few days before I updated my camera to the latest firmware, and I think that reset all of the preferences, and I forgot to change. So the edit was really tough. It was hard to bring out any details in the shadows. It was hard to get the exposure right, and you can see there's a bit of a vignette in the second shot which I just couldn't clear up. So a massive error on my part, and one that I definitely won't be doing again. But I also wanted to just share my thoughts on the case filter, and I absolutely love this. I really think that this makes the bright stars pop, and if you're shooting constellations like Orion, it really makes it stand out in the frame. But I don't think I used this that well. So what I did is I put this in my filter holder in front of the camera, and I took all of my photos through it. And I think what would have been better is if I had taken an image with the filter in front of the camera and then removed it halfway through the exposure, just to give some more detail to that sky, because the sky was very soft. It almost looked out of focus, a bit too blurry for my liking. I love the effect that this gives on the stars. It makes those bright ones pop. It diminishes some of the smaller stars, so it really makes that nebula stand out. But in future, I don't think I'm going to use it on a filter holder. I think I'm going to press the shutter if it's a 30-second exposure, a 10-second exposure, hold this in front of the lens for half of the exposure, then take it away, and hopefully that will solve the issue that I had. But this was nothing compared to coming home and actually finding out that all of my images were JPEG. That was just a schoolboy error, and just one of those things that I couldn't believe I had done. But yeah, we all make mistakes. So I thought I'd share this video showing you some of the mistakes that I made on that trip. But thanks so much to Darshana for inviting me out. It was great to meet you. It was great to capture some images with you, and it was brilliant to be out in Broadway. She got some much better shots than I managed. She stayed out a little bit later with her friend as well, and she managed to get this amazing shot of a deer in front of the Broadway Tower with Orion in the background as well. So check out her Instagram as well. I will put that up on screen now. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this slightly all over the place video, then please do hit that like button, and please consider subscribing. And I will see you in the next video for another deep sky target.